Well, pressure is mounting on the federal government to launch a royal commission into veteran suicide. The Senate united to vote in favour of the investigation last night. It included coalition senators, and that is against the government's current position. The Prime Minister says he will make a decision on the royal commission on Monday when the vote reaches the House of Representatives. For friends and families of veterans who have died by suicide, there's a lot at stake here. Since the Afghanistan war, there have been more than 500 suicides. That dwarfs the number of lives lost in battle, which stands at 41. Between 2002 and 2018, the suicide rate in veterans was 18% higher than men who haven't served. For females, it was 127% higher, or more than 2.2 were more likely to take their own life. The reason why they left the army plays a huge part. So where to from here? Well, in February last year, the government announced an independent commissioner to investigate veteran suicide. Dr Bernadette Boss can wield the powers of a royal commission, but many in the veterans community want more. One of those is Heston Russell. He's a retired Special Forces Major and voice of a veteran founder. Heston, thanks so much for your time. We're taking baby steps here, but it feels like we're almost there, are we?
Well, good morning, Laura, and thanks so much for having us on. Like you said, baby steps. I've been here in Parliament House this last week, and it has been absolutely inspiring meeting with all of those senators that have joined from the crossbench, including One Nation and led by Jackie Lambie, to see the unanimous vote in the Senate yesterday. But at the same time, we've been meeting with members of the House of Representatives, members of the Parliament, and we already have the numbers to have this pass through immediately, and the Prime Minister knows that and has known that all week. And again, it's been so inspiring meeting with these elected representatives in the Parliament who are not doing this, who are not going to cross the floor because it's what will get them votes, it's what their constituents want, because it's the right thing to do. And Laura, I have been so disappointed the last few days to then see the Prime Minister send out his henchmen from his office to threaten these people with withdrawing funding, with withdrawing things like a pre-selection. This week has been such a huge day whereby I've been meeting with members of both sides of the government again and simply asking the Prime Minister to do the right thing, because the numbers are already there, and this isn't about embarrassing the government or losing a vote on the floor of the Parliament. This is about saving people's lives. And there is not anyone who can answer me any different to the question that, would calling a Royal Commission tomorrow hurt anyone? No. Would calling a Royal Commission tomorrow stop someone from potentially thinking about taking their own life? Yes. Yes, and 1,000 times yes. And even overnight, I've had so many calls and so many emails from veterans who are literally holding on hope for the Prime Minister to make the right decision, to be in tune with the Australian people. They are contacting their elected representatives. They are contacting their senators. And we are going to be forming up at 9 o'clock Monday morning out the front of the Parliament to ask the Prime Minister to do the right thing. But I'm here and now asking and urging the Prime Minister to call it before then. Don't send us into the weekend awaiting what we know needs to be done, what we know people within his own party have asked him to do. Don't come out on Monday with a marketing line saying, yes, you'll do it in 6 months or you'll agree to do it in 9 months. Suicide prevention requires action. And when I attended the National Commissioner Symposium last week into suicide prevention, so many people, including mothers of those we've lost to suicide, left saying, when are we going to stop talking and start acting? When are we going to start doing what we know needs to be done? And this is a generational issue, Laura. This is a moral injury that has affected our veterans since Vietnam, those from the peacekeeping and peacemaking era, and those through to this Afghan conflict. And you note the numbers there that have the current numbers at 500. The latest reporting is at a 2-year lag, and we lost over 70 veterans last year alone. The number's more like 700. The suicide rate for men and women is below half the national average during service, and more than doubles that amount when they leave service. We are in a crisis. I don't know what else to say, but to call on the Australian public to please show their support as they continue to do, because the silent majority is no longer silent. It is now up to the Morrison government to please do the right thing. Their senators have taken this action and have shown that. On Monday, we will show that as a united people. It's going to be wet, it's going to be cold, it's going to be Canberra's finest. But this is about saving people's lives. And one man, the Prime Minister Scott Morrison, can call a Royal Commission today and can give thousands of veterans and families hope.
Heston, you are right to feel exasperated, and that's one of the many emotions I think you must be feeling today and have been for some time. Why do you think the Prime Minister is reluctant to call this?
Laura, this is a week where the Parliament has been discussing workplace reforms. And I've been in these walls and sitting in Jackie Lambie's office and meeting with these elected representatives for the last week. And then I have seen the way that the Prime Minister's office has conducted itself. I've seen the way that people have been threatened. I've seen the way that people have been glared at and even called dogs in the hallways of this office for even demonstrating and telling the Prime Minister to his face that they're going to be...
What happened? Someone was called a dog?
Staff members calling other staff members that their representative is a dog for wanting to cross the floor to support this motion on veteran suicide, for not voting with the political party, for not listening to the Australian people, for not doing what is morally right and demonstrating moral courage, but doing what the dictator that is sitting in the Prime Minister's office is telling them to do in order to maintain their report and their support from the party.
So you're telling me that pre-selection has been threatened for some of these coalition senators who voted to have a Royal Commission yesterday. What other threats have been made?
Well, this is it. And the Prime Minister himself hasn't even met with a majority of these. He's sent a bunch of his other people. He's sent Peter Dutton out. He's sent people to pull on the heartstrings. He's brought in those veteran members of his party to try and influence them, to try and bully them, to try and coerce them to see his way, not because it's the right thing that's going to save lives, but because he needs it to be seen that he is the one that's going to come out and winning and on top of this. And that's fine. He can have this. This is not about pride. This is not about politics. This is about saving people's lives. This is about providing a light at the end of the tunnel, a line in the sand that is going to allow the veteran community to then advance from and come together, bring everything out onto the table and allow us to get all of the moral injury and resentment and hurt that has been accumulated by the mismanagement of our veterans over decades and move forward. This National Commissioner definitely has merit and is a great policy, but the issue is this has gone beyond policy, this has gone beyond politics, this is about people, this is about emotion, this is about hope, this is about patriotism at our foundation. And when those foundations are weak, the more you pile on top with more policy, with more people, with more appointments, with more power, with more prestige, you are only setting yourselves up to crumble in a greater way. And we've seen that. We've seen that since the release of the Burton Report last year. We saw the spike in veteran suicides. I travelled around the country during the Christmas New Year period. I was face-to-face with 1,500 veterans. I met with 417 veterans who have attempted or thought about committing suicide. And it is not because of anything other than they feel abandoned, they feel abused, they feel resentment by the current system. And it doesn't matter how much lipstick you try and put on a pig, a Royal Commission is a Royal Commission, and a Royal Commission is what the people are asking for. And you cannot put any form of marketing spin on anything other than to stand up and call a Royal Commission to help commence the healing for this moral injury. Well,
Heston, your intervention today and over subsequent weeks has really hit where it hurts the most. We are more than happy to give you that platform once again to do it this morning. The Prime Minister is holding a media conference in about an hour's time. We're going to try and get a question to him and get an answer for you today. So we hope we can bring it to you. As always, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Laura, and hopefully we'll see you out there at 9 o'clock on Monday if we have to be there.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Thanks.